SM Studios or Star Wars Man Productions back with another video. Today I'm going to do another history video. I'm not sure if I'm going to post this one or the one I did about Napoleon first. So, I don't know. So, this project is the Manhattan Project, which I don't know if you know the reference, but that is Dr. Manhattan from The Watchmen. It's just to lighten the mood a little bit because this is a kind of deep topic. The reason for the Manhattan Project. The Manhattan Project was to unlock the power of the atom, to make more technological advanced weapons, to end World War II, and the reign supreme, winning the war for the Allies. At this point in the war, well, when they began it, they didn't know, but when they used it, they knew they were going to win, but people like Douglas also, I think his name was, estimated that that if they invaded Japan, it would cost like 1 million people lost for the Allies. So they figured, and also Russia, or the Soviet Union at the time, would have most likely taken a chunk of Japan, but they would have helped out, and at that point it was already in the dominoes falling for the Cold War, so they really didn't want that, so they wanted to end it quickly. When did the Manhattan Project begin? The Manhattan Project started in December 1941. It was extremely classified. The project was mainly led by Dr. Robert J. Oppenheimer. He's the guy in the hat. General Leslie Groves, the military leader of the Manhattan Project. He was a leader of over 100,000 workers and scientists. He left the military after the war in 1947. That's a picture of him. Robert J. Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer was the lead scientist for the Manhattan Project. He was born April 22nd, 1904, in New York City. He taught physics in California. Then in 1942, General Leslie Groves, the leader of the Manhattan Project, recruited Oppenheimer. Leading up to it, Albert Einstein and Leo Szilard, sorry I butchered that name, sent a message to FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, that Germany was well on its way to create the atomic bomb. FDR created the uranium unit. The Manhattan Project. They needed to learn to understand nuclear fusion to build the atomic bomb. They also needed to get enough uranium and plutonium. They eventually unlocked the power of the atom. Nuclear fusion is two atoms colliding, which generates a ton of nuclear energy. They have to be going near the speed of light, and when they collide, that disperse the energy, causing a nuclear reaction. The Trinity test. The Trinity test was the first test of the atomic bomb. It was in 210 miles south of Los Alamos, New Mexico, July 16, 1945. At 5:30 a.m., it was 18.6 kilotons of power, instantly vaporizing the tower, turning asphalt and sand into glass. It was a wild success. The Manhattan Project was a go. The bombing of Hiroshima. The bombing of Hiroshima took place August 6, 1945 at 8:15 a.m. Dropping Little Boy, it was about 15 kilotons of TNT. It was dropped by a B-29 superfortress named Enola Gay, and that is Little Boy and the mushroom cloud of the bomb. The Japanese did not surrender. They decided to hit them again 3 days later on the city of Nagasaki, and that is Emperor Hirohito of Japan on the right, and Harry S. Truman, the President of the United States at the time, on the left. The bombing of Nagasaki. The Fat Man bomb at 11:02 a.m. The plane that dropped it was a B-29 Superfortress named Boxcall. That's Fat Man and the explosion once again. Casualties and results. Little Boy, 66,000 people were killed. Fat Man, 35 to 40,000 people were killed. Japanese surrender. The war was over. This picture shows that during the atomic bombs, the blast was so powerful it put the shadow of the person in the objects behind it. The unlocking of the atom. The unlocking of the atom is a great danger to humanity. It will most likely kill civilization as we know it. The Cold War almost ended that way, but humanity is still a thing. But the nuclear bomb is a much bigger and more dangerous now than ever. I know not with what weapons World War III will be fought with, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. Albert Einstein. And then, these are my sources. I'm going to go back to this slide for a minute. It is a very controversial topic whether we should have dropped the atomic bombs in the United States, since I live in the United States. It's a very controversial topic. But I personally think that the atomic bombs were justified, since the Japanese had a very determined military that I don't think they would have surrendered until it would have been completely wiped out. I don't know if the leaders would have actually surrendered after enough, but I feel like the atomic bombs, although they are probably going to lead to issues down the road, I think in the short term they will probably best for limiting the amount of casualties on both the United States and the Japanese. That's just my take. If you have another take and you want to leave it in the comments, go for it, but that's my take. Hope you enjoyed this video. Have a nice day. Bye.